Yeah, yeah. She's performing in Atlantic City in October. I'm getting tickets if anyone wants to come. Do you want to come? I'm sure she's not what she used to be, but gotta see her before she goes. Seriously. Stevie Nicks. Do you want to come? Okay. Okay, for today's practice, if you can think of an album that you love from beginning to end, Lemonade, Sexy Cool, Renaissance, Cowboy Carter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. After Hours. These are some recent ones, but we should dig in these crates like Jagged Little Pill. Just keep them coming as they pop up. Like just offer that good energy. And they tell a story. And actually, that's what we're talking about today. I need to pull up my notes. I realize I'm much better with notes. So, happy birthday, Virgos, by the way. Yay. Who? Yeah. Well, happy birthday. I love our Virgos. It's Ganesha's birthday. I brought some Ganesha Mortis into the studio if you want to take a closer look. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of his iconography today. You see Ganesha all around the studio. And his birthday celebration is 10 days long. I'm not sure where we're at in it this year. But I think like the first thing that Ganesha's story tells us, at least his festival that's 10 days, is like birthday should be celebrated for at least 10 days. It takes at least 10 days to celebrate a birthday, right? And as our Virgo sort of patron saint of the yoga tradition, I think that another thing that Ganesha symbolizes is good taste. Like your Virgos are the epitome of good taste. He is the elephant-headed deity who, I don't want to go, are you telling much of his backstory this week, you think? Yeah. Okay, so Anisha's in the house today for folks at home, and all of Anisha's classes are also live streamed, and I trust Anisha's going to tell a lot of his story as well. Long story short, his story is in at least 4 of the source myths of the yoga tradition. He's decapitated by his father. Very symbolic. His uncles fix the problem. Family harmony is more than less restored. Ganesha is like no longer the problem anymore after that. And look for Anisha in studio or on YouTube or on our live stream for more of that story. I want to talk a little bit more about his reflection. You recognize him because he is the elephant-headed deity of the yoga tradition. This is his story for like 20 pages of notes. Okay, his image. So Ganapati, Ganesha, Ganesh, he has many names you'll hear him referred to, mostly as Ganesh, Ganesha, Ganapati, is a large boy with an elephant's head. His body is not meant to be mature, but the head is from a mature elephant. Herein lies a paradox. Like Ganapati's image, we are always merging the way things appear different to us with their familiarity. When 2 things inhabit one place, the divine is present. This is true for all things. Everything, including you, is made up of more than one thing, something utterly unknown yet completely familiar. His body is a huge baby boy body, which is human, but the most sort of instinctual aspect of a human is the form of the baby or the young child. And then the elephant, which is actually, so the body, even though it's human, represents our more animalistic side. And then the for elephant, while being an animal, is the more intellectual side, because as we know, elephants are some of the like most intellectual and intelligent of the animal kingdom. And he's like, one thing since my early 20s about the yoga tradition is like, there's so much, like mingling and merging of gender and species. Like there's a real celebration of trans beings in the yoga tradition. And Ganesha is like the most familiar and iconic of this sort of animal human being. Let's see. So Everything, his head is also represent, oh, so his head and body also represent both nature and culture, which are present at all times as us. His immature body, a baby's body, is the most natural stage of a human. A baby's body desires to eat, poop, and sleep. A baby's freedom, like their body and mind, has not matured yet. They lack responsibility that adults have, and so are more like a natural being or animal living instinctually. In contrast, his head is the adult elephant, wild and natural, but the elephant is one of the most cultured of the animals living in communities. Elephants are very intelligent. The head is the seat of consciousness, which we think of as something refined or cultured. The body is the experience of consciousness, something we think of as visceral, intuitive, and natural. Both the body and the head, culture and nature, contain each other in one another. Two things in one place, one thing that is two. That's what the divine does as us. He has 4 arms in which he holds a pashu or a noose, which is like a lasso. And as I hold this up, these are not extrinsic objects of worship, deities that are outside of us that we worship, as in some traditions. This is a mirror that's meant to reflect to you aspects of your own nature. And so the more you recognize the different sort of symbolic aspects of the icon, they're meant to reflect to you aspects of yourself, to remind you of who you are. It's a reflection. So the pashu, the lasso, is the capacity to bring things into proper perspective. That is, putting things at the right distance. This is such a Virgo thing. A lasso brings something from afar and draws it near or into focus. And likewise, it lets something extend away from you without losing your connection to it. When things are close, you can see the details, and you can focus, you can bring the details into focus, and from afar, you can see what it's all about, what meaning it has, and in what ways it matters. You get the whole picture. You can then choose to let it go or hold on to it. These are your experiences, your thoughts, and your feelings. You can't escape them, but you can empower them and sort of hold them in the right perspective. The more you draw them close, the more perspectives and meanings you'll find. The more perspective you have, the more vision experience you'll have. The yogi's aim is not to escape, but to engage in a process of perspective making. So holding things in the right perspective. He's also holding an ankusha, or the elephant's goad, which is used to tame an elephant. It's a small instrument that prods and gets the elephant to do what the trainer wants. The key is that the trainer has to know where and how much to poke the elephant. The goad represents the buddhi, the capacity of our minds to deliberate and make the right choice. It is an instrument of reason. It is the rational part of our being. Like the elephant can't really be controlled, but with deliberation, concentration, and focus, you can get the elephant to do what you want. So the elephant as your mind, right, the elephant head, the seat of consciousness, is that you can't control the mind. It is wild like an elephant, untamable. However, you don't need to know everything all the time, just what you need to know in that instance. The goad is your capacity to probe your mind to get what you need, so you don't have to remember everything at all times. The goad is your application of wisdom, understanding, precision, valor, and reason. And so together, the lasso and the goad create a relationship. The lasso is your emotions. They represent your shraddha, or your faith, defined as the way you place your awareness. That's how we define faith in the yoga tradition. And it's found in your feelings. And the goad is reason. It's the knowing that a thought can act upon a thought. In order to feel, you must think, but to think more deeply, you must feel. These two are held together, not in opposition to each other, but by residing in the same place. He has a plate of sweets, and many times you'll see his trunk in his plate. That's called modaka, which means sweet, pleasant, delight, pleasure. The sweets, which are a particular kind of Indian dessert called ladus. Anyone ever had ladus? I got so fat when I lived in India because I lived on ladus. They hurt to eat at first. They're like donuts drowned in syrup. And then they're like addictive. I mean, sugar's addictive. It's like doing an 8-ball. And then I got home and I looked in there. I was like, whoa, I guess I ate a lot of ladus. So his trunk is like in the plate of ladus, which are an exaggerated form of sweetness. It's that what we take in has to be processed, and logic has the flavor we give it. It requires more than just feeling. It requires to think about what we sense, our taste. And like fluency in yoga, I would say, like if I were to define what intermediate advanced yoga is, it's like having good taste. Taste is our way of expressing a natural feeling, and so too, our reason is not in conflict with feelings, but the process of naming and placing them. Ganapati gives things a sweet flavor because he knows where things go. Yoga is the process of placing things. So he's often referred to as the remover of obstacles, the patron saint of new beginnings. He's the lord of the threshold. That's also part of his story that Anisha will tell. You often find him in thresholds. You'll see him in thresholds all around the studio. When you walk up the stairs, you see him before you enter the studio. He's usually I think we've moved things around because of the downstairs studio, but he's usually the first saint you see when you walk into the studio, and when you do rituals in the yoga tradition, you first pay homage and invoke Ganesha, because he's like the filter. He sees your insides and he sees your outsides, and he knows what to let in and what to keep out, and he knows what to let out and what to keep in, and that's good taste. Like, you know, like I curse a lot sometimes, and when I'm cursing, it's because like my Ganesha is not in the right place. Or it's that thing that keeps us from going like, oh, I want to, like, dare I say this, like when you get that feeling like I want to kill that person, but like you don't. That's your Ganesha. That's like in good taste, the discernment. He stands in doorways because you can see in more than one direction and therefore have better perspective to place experiences. The metaphor for the sweets does not mean that all of life is sweet, rather the idea that everything has a place, and when it locates its place, when it's in alignment, there's an auspiciousness, a value, a sweetness. Again, like anger is a positive thing when it's motivated against injustices. Like it wouldn't be in good taste to not be angry at injustice, but it also isn't good to be angry all the time. That's your Ganesha. Life's auspiciousness is a celebration when things are in alignment. I promise we're going to do yoga and we're going to tie this in, okay? I should reduce it. He rides around on a little mouse, which I'm not sure if you can see on any of these icons. Oh yeah, he's on his mouse here. And the mouse, so each of the deities has a vehicle that they ride around on, and Ganesha is a giant deity that rides around on a little mouse. And the mouse represents the part of us, he's the remover of obstacles, the part of us that has the capacity to get into and out of tight situations, to work our way through, around the tightest of spaces, and that's our breath. Our breath is the mouse and the breath are our vehicle. We always can find the breath and turn to the breath when we're in a tight situation in order to move out or beyond or past of an obstacle or a tight situation. The mouse represents the vehicle to get out of our own way. The mouse is small and gets into and out of tight places. And his size represents the aspect that we're often our own biggest obstacle. We are often our own biggest obstacle, which his size represents. But Ganapati is never in his own way. He's the remover of obstacles because he's never an obstacle to himself. You turn to your vehicle, to your breath, to see that you're not stuck. As large as an obstacle seems, be the small, invincible part of yourself that can maneuver out of your own way. We're going to do this in our practice. And in addition, Ganapati feeds his mouse the sweets. He shares the sweetness. That's what good Virgos do, right? They just make it sweeter. And I think I'll just tie it up. Lastly, he has a broken tusk, which he uses to scribe the Mahabharata, the greatest epic of the yoga, the Indian tradition. He's holding the tusk in his hand. The sage Vyasa is the orator of the epic. It's the longest epic in the world. And the story goes that Vyasa said that he was going to orate it in one take. And so Ganesha had to listen closely and write it without stopping. And so he has big ears because he's a great listener. And he uses his brokenness, his broken tusk, to give to the world something of eternal beauty, like the greatest epic of all time, in which we are every character in that epic story. So it's all so that we can see ourselves more deeply and more clearly and understand deeper truths. And to me, that's the most important aspect, is that when you see him holding his broken tusk, it's that reminder that we are wise where we're wounded. Our brokenness is not an affliction or an obstacle. It's an indication of our deeper beauty. And often we think of our brokenness, our broken places, as our biggest obstacles, but really we can use them to give to the world so much more beauty. The beauty is in the broken places. Comes from the broken places. So love Ganesha. I was introduced to him a little over 20 years ago at an ashram in upstate New York, right before I left for a life in India. And when I got to India, it was the end of his birthday, and I got to see like all the villages submerging their deities in the bodies of water. At the end, you take the murtis, the statues, to the water and say bye-bye. Till next time. So we're gonna ride the breath today as our vehicle. We're gonna use the breath when we're facing our obstacles on our practice and see if the breath helps us transform our relationship to what we think are our limitations. The way in which the breath can transform our perspective of our limitations. Like, these are the key. We'll put it in our bodies, and then hopefully I hope you're like thinking about him for the rest of his birthday. You can sit down or recline if you feel like you've been seated for a while. Let's all just start laying down. That was long-winded. That was a little bit of Vyasa for you. An oration. There's so much more. We used to do the story times. We got to bring those back. Maybe we should do like a series. Instead of like split across the year, we could do like a weeknight series of story times. The big ears are Ganesha's capacity to listen deeply and closely in you through you. So allow your ears to soften and open. Look for the breath, and just by turning your awareness to that small, often overlooked part of you, like the mouse, like you don't see them often, but when you see them, it's like all you see, right? By turning the light the breath, and notice how naturally your breath begins to deepen and expand. Invite a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. The entire physical practice of yoga is in service to the gift of life that each breath offers. And in our tradition of physical yoga, it's an alignment-based yoga tradition. We are all about bringing things into optimal alignment so that the breath, the gift of life that each breath offers, can flow in us, as us, through us, more deeply and more fully. As you deepen the breath deepens you. Notice what you feel, how it feels, where you feel it. You'll hear me say that a lot, and that's that calling upon the relationship between thinking and feeling, the lasso and the goad. What needs attention? Where does your awareness naturally go? And now call your awareness, goad your awareness to your breath. And as you invite a deep breath in, the breath ignites the heart wherein the voice of the true teacher resides, always present, intrinsically peaceful, utterly powerful and luminous. And as the breath ignites the heart, the indwelling splendor of the heart has an opportunity to inform, illuminate, and inspire the faculty of your mind and the agency of your body, the thoughts and the actions. And here in this living, breathing, conscious gift of embodiment, your Ganesha is the voice within you that knows what to let in and let out, and knows what to keep in. And so there's an intimacy there with yourself and those in the world around you that Ganesha orchestrates a life of sweetness and intimacy. Notice what you feel, how it feels, where you feel it. And as you discern yourself in this moment, notice if there's anything in particular you need or want from your practice today. In particular, in Virgo season, is there anything that you're ready to draw in with your lasso or let go of in order to enhance the sweetness in your environment? Are there any self-perceived limitations that are arising as obstacles in your practice, in yourself, in your life that you're ready to transform or overcome? And in what way does this practice of yoga empower you in these endeavors? On your next inhalation, we'll reach the arms overhead. You can be mindful of feet and like other props and things. Stretch through your arms and your legs. Huge breath in. Exhale with an audible sigh. The bottom breath, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Give yourself the sweetest, most loving embrace. Notice what you feel, think, and hear. Gently roll to one side, press through strong arms. We'll make our way into a tabletop position facing the top of your mat. If we haven't met before, sorry I forgot that whole intro part and announcements. I was excited about Ganesha's B-Day. My name is Mariel, and everything I offer is an invitation, not an obligation, so feel free to take it, leave it, modify, spectate, hydrate. As you exhale, round your back, and as you inhale, arch. Cat-cow, ride the breath so that the breath naturally precedes the movements. Like the breath is the horse and the body is the chariot. Like the breath is the mouse and the body is Ganesha. And notice how much the body can tend to weigh the breath down because we think of ourselves as a body with a breath and thereby forget the breath or overlook the breath. Think of yourself as a breath with a body. So the body gets lighter and lighter as you focus on the breath. Again, notice what you feel what you notice. Oh my God. And it's not going to cut out. Come into more of a neutral spine position. Let's stretch the leg straight back with the ball of the foot on the ground and press the right heel towards the back of the room. Wrap the right hip towards the floor as you press the right heel back. Breathe into what can't be seen but can be felt. And right in there, that's where we're like inviting the breath to flow more deeply, more fully, more freely throughout the fabric of our body. Lower the right knee towards the floor, stretch back through the left leg. Press the left heel towards the back of the room as you wrap the left hip forward into what can't be seen but can be felt. Belly breathing through the nose is the key. So as you inhale, as best you can throughout your practice, we want to feel the belly expand as deep as humanly possible. And as you exhale, a softening as you contract to the center. Lower the left knee to the floor. Turn the left hand counterclockwise so your fingers point towards the back of your mat. You can walk your knees forward to make that less intense or back to make it more intense. Is this okay with you? Okay, I just don't want to step on them. That thing where I close my eyes a lot, where I'm teaching, turn the left fingers forward and turn the right hand back. So I try to move around glasses and water bottles so that we don't suffering. Breathe into what can't be You felt, do you notice a difference from side to side, especially if you maybe spent a month quilting? Does that feel different from side to side? It's hard work on the body, I'm sure. Turn the right hand around, and we'll meet in downward dog when you're ready. Also for the new, my name is Mariel. In front, demoing for you all as well as the folks at home who join us on Union and YouTube. And Melissa's walking around the room to assist and will chime in as well throughout our practice. That's Melissa, here to help. You can pedal the feet from side to side, claw the fingertips, spread the toes, invite the light of awareness to expand on the currents of your breath throughout the fabric of your body. Like as though the breath were water and the light of awareness is the way that light plays on water throughout your whole body. On your inhale, float your right leg high to the sky, and as you exhale, catch your lunge. Feel both feet on the ground. Inhale, reach the arms up. Feel both feet on the ground. And as you inhale, pull the feet towards each other so that you can actually feel the strength of your legs from the ground rise all the way up through your hips. And from the core of the pelvis, as you push down through your legs, stretch up through your thumbs. Never press the back knee and thigh higher to the sky. Feel the back leg light up with awareness. Keep that as the top of the front thigh descends for one more breath, belly breath. As you exhale, plant the hands, downward facing dog. Ganesha has a big belly, full of sweetness, full of life, full of left leg. And as you exhale, step it through to lunge. Feel both feet on the ground. Inhale, reach your arms up high. Find your breath and feel both feet. As you inhale, pull the feet toward, lift the back heel, knee and thigh high to the sky. Stretch out arms. Nice cloud. Front leg. Teresa, press your inner up a little. Yes. More belly breath. Your exhale, plant the hands, step dog. Check it out. Claw the fingertips, spread the toes, find and feel all the space in between tips and toe tips. And we'll ride the breath. The breath is the vehicle. It carries you to the top of the plank. Lower your knees here if you like. Exhale carries you towards the earth. Inhale carries the breath forward and up. Press the inner edges of the hands down, in, and back for one more breath. Flick your toenails down. Find downward dog. Breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. Melissa, will you remind me to do announcements at the end? I'm sure there's a bunch of things. Yeah, okay, thank you. All of that. Okay, on your inhale, float the right leg high to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge, back heel to the ground, right forearm to right thigh, left hand to left hip, and pause. We're just gonna be here in this sort of Parsva prep. Back heel on the ground, there you go. Front knee and toes point straight ahead. Inhale, pull the feet. Feel your legs engage when you pull the feet towards each other. We want the legs to be strong so that we can tie our strength into our open. Stand through your back leg, bend the front leg a little deeper. Can you hug the front heel in and guide the inner thigh a little more open, and then take your shoulders back, your head back, lean back. Take like right here, a little bit more. Yes, and now press here. And feel how the knee went in, keep pressing here, but guide your knee here. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, reach the left arm overhead. Pull the back foot forward, flip the left palm to the sky, and on your inhale, reach up and back like you're moving through water into warrior two. Bend the front leg one more inch. Push the front leg straight. Draw the knee forward and back, and as you exhale, right fingertips to a block inside or outside your front leg. And take your heel to right about here. Yep. And then push here and guide. See how the knee goes in? That's because that's connected. Push here. Can you take your knee? Yes. Feel that? That is awesome. As you inhale, pull the feet towards each other. Fingertips up the core lines to the arms right towards the spine. Draw the shoulder blades together. And as the bottom tips of the shoulder blades draw together, draw your bottom ribs towards the shoulder blades. The bottom tips of the shoulder blades towards the bottom ribs. I always think of that as like the heart with the arrow through. Anyone else get that? And then slide the palate back. Even like close your eyes and lean back. Push through your legs. As you close your eyes, hug your feet towards each other. Lean back. One more breath. And as you exhale, pass through your lunge. Left fingertips to the floor. Back heel lifts. Downward dog. Pedal it out there. Notice what you feel. Feel what you notice. Your lasso and your goad. Notice what you feel. Feel what you notice. And notice through just like a little bit of warm up, living, breathing gift of embodiment is being drawn into focus. On your inhale, float your left leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Back heel to the ground. Arm to left thigh, right hand to right hip. So psyched about the Yoga Studios Virgo. The Yoga Studios of Virgo. Oh my God. Some speakers. So yeah, the old speakers are still there. That's like very Mahabharata. The old speakers are part of the story. We can't eliminate them. So they're still there, but there's new speakers too. We're just adding in. As you inhale, pull the feet towards each other. Feel the legs and ground. Connection, root back down into the earth. Steady, strong, on your body. And as you stand into your back leg, hug the front heel in energetically. Guide the inner front thigh open and bend one more inch. And as you root into your back leg, into the right arm overhead, one long line of energy, reach past your fingertips. And now turn the palm up to the sky, and like you're moving through water, inhale, reach up and back, warrior. You reach back towards the person or wall behind you, bend the front leg one more inch. And now push the front leg straight, big breath in. Exhale, triangle pose. Left fingertips to a block. Front leg you. Right hand helps us relieve any strain in the neck and shoulder. As long as you strain there, you can reach the right arm to the sky. As you pull your feet towards the midline, also think from the fingertips, draw up the core. As the bottom tips of the shoulders draw together and forward, the bottom tips of the ribs in front draw towards the midline and connect right into your center. And then maybe close the eyes, feel both feet on the ground, find the breath. As you inhale, pull the feet towards each other, draw up the legs, and as you exhale from the core of the pelvis, root down and out through the legs, and lean back. Gorgeous. Inhale, pass through your lunge, downward facing dog, right out to plank. Follow your breath, not my voice, your breath. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale for cobra. Pause for an extra. And when you're ready, rise. Downward dog. On your inhale, float your right leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. On the exhale, take a huge step forward to standing tall mountain. Exhale. Okay, we're going to place a block this direction between the calves. sure if that's on video. Maybe Kim, just turn to face the camera for a moment and then come back to the front. And then we might have done that backwards actually. Narrow between the thighs above the knees, a little bit wider between the calves. See how that works for you. Try to hug the block with the fronts of the inseams of the thighs. This is so nerdy. And the backs of the inseams of the calves. Should I say that again? This is so Virgo. This is like, my beloved is a Virgo, and we opened a business together. And in the early days of our coffee shop, Shot Tower Coffee, like I'd come in and all the mug handles would be pointing the same direction. And like, I love that. It's like the meticulous. So we're holding with the, like find your inner thigh, your inseams of your thighs, or in front of your inseams at your thighs, inseams of your calves, and try to hug more right behind the inseams of your calves. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the legs, fingertips tap the earth. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit deep. Good, fingertips to the floor. Lean into your fingertips, press your thighs back as much as you can. And with the legs straighter, walk your hands back. Ground through the heels, climb your hands to your hips, hug the shoulder blades together. And come all the way up to standing. Hug the fronts of the thighs, the backs of the calves. Whew, that made me sweat. Okay, we're gonna waddle it towards the back of the mat. It's like the opposite of the bands. Like I'm already feeling like a little burn right here, okay? Look at your feet, make them parallel. Melissa can help with that. Again, fronts of the inner thighs, backs of the calves. Inhale, reach the arms up, follow your breath. Exhale, bend the legs, fingertips tap the earth. Hug the blocks. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sit deep. Squeeze the blocks as you inhale, stand tall. Exhale, fold over your legs as you hug the blocks. Fronts of the thighs, backs of the calves. Keep that as you inhale, walk the hands out to downward facing dog. Bend your knees deep. Squeeze the blocks. With your inner thighs, press your thigh block to the sky. So the legs get straighter, the thighs are lifting, the heels are lifting. And as you hug the bottom block, press your heels back and down towards the floor. Whew, anyone? Holy smokes. Inhale, we're all Ganesha birthday candles right here lit up. Inhale to plank. Squeeze the thigh block with the fronts of the thighs, the calf block with the backs of the calves. Exhale the arms halfway. Pause for the inhale. Exhale, push the arms straight. Exhale, downward dog. Place the thigh block outside the right hand. Place the calf block outside the left hand. As you inhale, float the left leg to the sky. As you exhale, catch your lunge. As you inhale, reach the arms up. Ride the breath. Exhale, huge step forward, standing tall mountain. Exhale, hands to heart. Deeper breath in, longer breath out. So our yoga is really, like a lot of the yoga tradition is a yoga of enlightenment. Our tradition is a yoga of empowerment. And the power is intrinsic, but oftentimes what gets diminished by nature and nurture, our awareness of, our connection to our power. And the physical practice of yoga for really strengthening our awareness of intrinsic power. So when you put the blocks there, it creates more of an awareness of and a connection to. The more we draw ourselves and wrap ourselves, connect ourselves to our central power, the stronger we feel, because the stronger we are. Like we are strong, we just don't necessarily always feel our strength. And so the blocks are there to draw that lasso and goad into relationship, into an awareness of an intimacy with that intrinsic strength and power. We're going to place the blocks again between the calves and, I guess, thighs first. That was easier, right? I mean, you could try to go calves and then thigh. But that didn't work for my thighs. Find your breath. Okay, and then like Virgoatize, is that a verb? We're gonna Virgoatize the block. Feet are gonna be parallel, and we're gonna hug the thigh block with the fronts of the inseams, and the calf block with the back of the inseams. So we're goading and lassoing in the legs. On the inhale, reach the arms up. Squeeze the block. Exhale, bend the legs, fingertips tap the earth. Hug the blocks. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hug the blocks. Sit deeper, hug the blocks. As you inhale, push through the legs, stand up tall. Exhale, hands to heart. And then we waddle it towards the back of the mat, hugging the blocks. And so the blocks seem or the limitation there, but actually the blocks are honing our awareness to the center, to our strength, to our power. Release the hands. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the legs, fingertips touch the earth. Stay that deep in the legs as you inhale, reach the arms up. Hug the blocks. Exhale, sit deeper. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, fold. Hug the blocks as you fold. Walk your fingertips forward and bend the legs a little bit and press your thighs back. Okay, and then by popular demand, walk your hands forward. I can read the lift your heels, bend your knees deep. Squeeze the block with the fronts of your thighs and use that connection to press your thighs to the sky, to straighten the legs, thigh bones, lifting them back. And as the thigh bones press the block up to the ceiling, let the heels get heavy. Breathe into what can't be seen but can be felt. Tiny overlooked part of yourself to plank. Inhale to plank. Exhale, bend your elbows away. Use the thighs to lift the blocks up to the sky. Push the arms straight. Downward dog. Whew. Okay, place the block, the right hand, place the thigh block to the right, block to the left. As you inhale, float the right leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. And bring your hands to the blocks in front of you. And take a big step forward and up for supported warrior 3. Right here, turn the back toes in. And imagine you're squeezing a block, 2 blocks to the midline with your back leg. Your back calf is pressing into a block. Your back inner thigh is pressing into a block. And as though there was a block on the inner back thigh and calf, you're using the inner thigh to lift the block up. Nice, as the tailbone anchors down. Bring your right hand to your right hip, and as you root through the right big toe ball mound, tack the right hip crease back. Belly breathing through the nose. As you exhale, step back to lunge. Pivot your feet to the left for a wide-legged forward fold. Either take your strap or interlace your hands behind your back shoulders. Find your breath and linking breath and action. So we're really paying attention to the breath. As you inhale, pull the feet towards each other. Feel the legs engage. Hug the shoulder blades to the midline. Feel the chest expand. And as you exhale, try to pull the hands apart as the head gets heavy and the arms open, face soft. More of the deepest, fullest breaths. And as you exhale, release the hands. Turn the right knee and toes through lunge, and we'll take it back to downward facing dog. On your inhale, ride your breath to float the left leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Bring your hands to the blocks in front of you and take a big step forward up for a supported warrior 3. Flex the back foot, turn the back toes in a little bit, and now imagine there's a block or 2 inside your back leg that you're squeezing. So like the back leg symbolizes the side of ourself that is often overlooked. And that stuff weighs us down. The back leg is heavy, it's weighty. But as soon as you turn your awareness to your back leg and you use your awareness to activate the back leg, you could use the strength of your back leg to make yourself lighter. But you gotta ignite the back leg with awareness and strength. Squeeze the back calf into an imaginary block. Squeeze the inner back thigh into an imaginary block, and use the front of that inner back thigh inseam to lift that block towards the sky. Bring your left hand to your left hip crease and pull it back. And even press the right block down and forward to draw the ribs back and lift the inner back thigh in and up. And as you exhale, big step back to lunge. Pivot your feet to the right for the wide-legged forward fold. Either take the strap or interlace your hands behind your back for another shoulder stretch to open the chest, the lungs, the heart. As you fold over your legs, you bow to your heart, to the voice of the heart. As you inhale, you hug your feet to the midline. You draw in. And as you exhale, the arms get heavy over the head. The heart opens up and out. One more of the deepest, fullest breaths. Both feet on the ground, head heavy. Release the hands from the left knee and toes through lunge. Take it back to downward facing dog. And look for your breath to turn you into your heart. And from that perspective, the perspective of your heart, consider, do you want to stay in dog, rest in child's pose, or let your breath carry you through the linking vinyasa in the style of you? Discern for yourself what adds sweetness. Take your time. We'll meet in downward dog. On your inhale, float the right leg to the sky. As you exhale, catch your lunge. Spin your back heel to the earth. Rest your torso on your front leg. And rest your torso on your front leg, and then either take your strap or interlace your hands behind your back for a humble warrior. Draw the shoulder blades together. You can stay right here. Reach the arms up so you lift off the front thigh. Anchor the front sitting bone to the heel so the front of the pelvis lifts off the front thigh. And then fold. Bow inside your front leg and let the arms get heavy overhead. As you inhale, pull the feet towards each other. Draw the bottom ribs towards the shoulder blades. And as you exhale, anchor the tailbone down and let the spine extend through the crown, through the arms. As you exhale, release fingertips to the block, spin the back heel up, take a big step forward and up, supported warrior 3 again. This time, bend your back leg, heel to butt cheek. Squeeze the back knee in and press the back heel up. As you inhale, hug the back knee into an imaginary block. Keep that as you press the inner heel up. One more time, hug the knee in, press the heel up. Now make the leg straight and step it all the way back to lunge. Lower the back knee to the ground, pad with a blanket as needed. You can bring your blocks high inside the front leg, and then bend your back leg, and with your left hand, find your left foot. If you prefer the twist, you can go opposite hand to foot, or if you're going left hand to left foot, you can bring your right hand to the right thigh if you feel steady. The point is a thigh stretch. Everyone feel something there? Good. Press the back knee down and forward and draw the bottom ribs up and back. Is that more or less sweet? Nose breathing, sinuses and allergies permitting. Gently release, and we'll take it back to downward dog. On your inhale, float the left leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge, back heel to the ground, kind of like a warrior one. Rest your torso on your front thigh to start and find your strap. Take the strap behind your back or interlace your hands for the shoulder stretch. So ideally, it's like the shoulder blades come together, the heads of the arm bones move up and back, the collarbones lift up and back, and the chest, the lungs, the heart expand. And keeping that, draw the bottom ribs up, the tailbone down. We want to feel like the front hip point is lifting up away from the front thigh as you bow inside the front leg. Head heavy towards the floor like ripe fruit. Arms either reaching up to the sky, towards the sun, or reaching towards the floor overhead like wet branches. One more breath. Humble warrior. Release the hands, fingertips to the floor or blocks. Take a big step forward and up, supported warrior 3. I was thinking about warrior poses yesterday. I was at the Arthur Ashe Stadium where there's that Billie Jean quote. It's something like Billie Jean King, pressure is a privilege. That's like encapsulates the privilege of doing these poses. The pressure is the, and there's a block. Bend the leg, heel to butt cheek. And as you inhale, back leg into that imaginary block. And as you exhale, raise the roof with your heel. Think this down. More. Push into your left fingertips more. Yes, and now press up through this heel. Can you feel the difference there? Extend the leg long, step back, pad the knee for your thigh stretch. Oh yeah, we got fans. Also hoping these fans for the first time possible, but I'm gonna call an electrician. They're wizards. Wizards among us. I'm gonna call on Tuesday. I keep like goading my husband. I'm like, why don't you just go to school and become an electrician? I'm like, I think you would love that for your second half of your life. Can't be seen, but can be felt. Remember, like, this paying attention to tends to be the dead weight that weighs us down. Ganesh, elephant in the room, thing in the room. So that back leg weigh us down. Can you activate the back foot? Like turn your back toes out, try to spread your toes, try to turn your back foot out. You're creating a really long light of awareness connection when you go like boot head to back foot and toes. And when you activate the back foot, press the back knee down and everything lifts up a little higher. Gently release. Downward dog. Do we like that? It's good. Find your breath. Turn into your heart for discernment. Do you want the breath to carry you into child's pose, to sustain you in dog? You. Is the sweetness that comes from having things in order, having things in alignment, things in perspective. Bang. We'll meet in downward. And at the bottom of a breath, step, walk, hop, or float forward to Uttanasana. Feet can be hips width to outer hips. Feet power train tracks. Bend your legs a little bit and imagine imaginary blocks between the inner and the inner calves, hugging the inner thighs in and back, the inner calves in and forward. That's really. We're going to interlace our hands behind the head, elephant head. Anyone ever feel like sometimes the contents of your press your hands into your head into your hands, and you press yourself into yourself to come all the way up to standing. Hands into head, head into hands, all the way up to standing. And release. You are the mountain. And shake it out. We're going to come to the wall. Count anymore, so I don't know how many people are in here, but it doesn't look full. So I think we're good. If you were like, is not necessarily, if you know you're going to want to do a handstand, you can avoid the sconces. And if you really to be at or near a sconce, I just realized the lights are. There we go. And I think you're going to want your blocks